Hey y'all, welcome back. I know we missed you guys last week. Y'all missed us potentially, hopefully. But we're back. We are episode 10 of season 3. It's still weird to say that number. And tonight we bring back everyone's favorite blue Duke Blue Devil. Oh, it still pains me, but it doesn't hurt me as much as, it could have.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Cyrus.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, it's been a long-awaited return.
Seriously.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were here?
I think it was before you had Luca, like a month before you had Luca.
Oh shoot. That's wow. That's a
It's been
while.
a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. Well, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
Always one of our favorite guests, just because the basketball talk is typically outrageous. But tonight, we're going to keep it a little bit more tame because I have an hour. That is it. That is my cutoff time. So Kevin is timing us to make sure that we stay on track tonight. That would usually fall to Andrew, but he has to work. Who does that?
I know. What is that guy doing? He never shows up when I'm on. Was he scared of me or something?
Yeah, it is very sad he doesn't show up whenever you're on because he misses a lot of great content.
Yeah, he does. And he has some really good basketball takes too. So
yeah, I've seen those. He does okay. He does okay.
He does okay. All right, well, awesome. Kevin, let's start with you.
Sure.
What are you rocking?
So I'm rocking my Princeton basketball long sleeve. I got this when Cyrus and I did our We Out Here for the Princeton women's basketball team, who is absolutely crushing it right now. I think their win streak has continued. I think they're up to almost 11 in a row, and they're ranked in the top 25. So shout out to the Princeton Lady Tigers for putting in the work. They're making teams in the Ivy League look silly, and I think they're on the verge of another Ivy League title. But yeah, I got this when Cyrus and I were together. I think, Cyrus, did you get the same one?
I did get the same one.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure we support,
Exactly.
Merritt and I have been if you guys have listened to the podcast, we're an avid supporter of our women's athletes, including women's basketball specifically. So just wanted to represent.
I love it, dude. That's fantastic. And then Cyrus, what are you rocking?
We already know.
We know what you're doing, but
we got to be faithful around here. You know what I mean? Because Sunday is gonna be faithful. You know what I mean? So
I love
rocking my sweatshirt that Kevin X convinced me to buy when we were working at our place of business.
Mm-hmm.
He convinced me to buy. He was like, "You need to get it because it's probably not going to be on that rack anymore." So I went and bought it, and it actually is a pretty good sweatshirt.
Yes.
Best investment I've had.
Absolutely. And just quick plug, I also wore this long sleeve because our We Out Here Princeton has been released on the YouTube. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, feel free to see myself and Cyrus, rock out over in Princeton. It might not be as long as the last two We Out Here's, but it's a nice fun one. A little super calm Saturday.
Hey, you know what? I remember you being at the game and you're like, "Can you see me?" And I send a picture, and all I can see, the only reason I know it's you, Kevin, is because I see this.
Yes.
That's the only reason I could tell it was you.
Well, I was wondering if you would. I was wearing my big red jacket that I always bring everywhere. I was trying to hope that maybe you could have found me because I was wearing that red jacket. But
oh no, it was because you were doing this, and the picture you sent that where you were, I was like, okay, so he's across from the bench at this end. All right, let's just see. And the first time they panned over, I could actually see both you and Cyrus. And then wasn't quick enough to get a picture. The next time it got far enough down, I could just get the edge of you. So
one of these days I might have to go on ESPN Plus to see if I can replay the game and see if I can actually find us.
I don't. Do they do that? Do they do replay games like that on ESPN Plus?
Yeah. Every game is recorded and you can watch it whenever you want.
Yeah. Didn't know that.
Yeah. I got no hat tonight just because I was cleaning up dinner that my wife made. So I'm just rocking my Lake Tahoe sweatshirt, which is extremely comfortable. and covering up my brand new tattoo because that is sweet as fuck right now. So,
How long did that tattoo take?
about 2.5 hours.
Cool. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll put that as a reel talk as you talk about your tattoo.
Whatever. That's fine. I whatever you want to do. You're in charge of social media.
Hey, I'm trying out here. I'm trying to just get creative with the content, trying to make us, relevant out here.
You do. We're relevant. We're relevant to our friends and family.
That is
Yes, we
true.
are.
And
Yes,
we're
we
now relevant to my gym as well,
Woo.
as they know about our podcast and everything. Today I actually did an interview for my gym. Shout out to Alpha Fit Club over in Marlboro. They had,
Nice.
if you guys remember, I put up that before and after that Merrick gave me amazing flowers for. Thank you, sir. And they ended up asking me to do like an interview. So I was there like for an extra like half hour to 40 minutes, just chopping it up, just talking about how joining their gym has like pretty much changed a guy's life out here. So keep an eye on that for the YouTube, and we might possibly get a little tag on the Instagram as like a collab type deal. So keep an
Ooh.
keep
And
a
also-
keep an eye out.
They have an Alpha Fit Club out here. Maybe I might join. Who knows?
Yeah, you
You
know
do,
what?
Cyrus.
We also need to give our flowers to another individual who has been crushing it lately. From the post that he decided to throw out there, Mr. Cyrus Johnson, you got
Yeah, look at you, Cyrus. Sheesh. Putting in that work. I gotta
y'all
get on
making
your
me
level.
feel y'all making me feel bad. So now I have to go back to my bodybuilding days and just start straight lifting.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a long road. So I've been trying to. It's been just a long work, just trying to keep myself down, get myself down. So
There it
trying
is.
to keep it up.
Doing
It is-
great. It's a process. The whole
Yeah.
deal is a process. That's why I've been telling myself. And
Yep.
Merritt, I know you're going to be on the process soon too. So I fully believe in you.
I think I was on the process for a while, and then having a kid and all the things that come with that change everything.
Mhm.
But still being at like 245 to 250, being 6'4", and not looking like I'm obese, I'll take that as a win. But
Yep.
definitely need to drop about 10 to 20 pounds, which would be
And
nice.
you know what, Mary? I felt the same because I was at like 220, like 324, and I'm like, I wasn't like bad, but you could tell like my body just was like not the way I wanted it. Like it was like
Yep.
like the body, my stomach would feel my stomach wasn't like out there, but it was like enough to say, you know what, I probably should like take
Yeah.
better care of what I eat. Then it was
That's-
like, yeah,
That's 100% where I'm at. And I'm like, all right.
yeah.
As I'm sitting here drinking an alcoholic beverage, like fuck.
Ah,
It starts after the Super Bowl because I'm going to Pennsylvania this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to control myself. But I will do the best I can. But let's quickly talk about weekly sports update. I know there's a lot of the NBA stuff going on.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of stuff for the NFL. We know the Super Bowl is coming up literally in 6 days, 5 days, whatever. By the time y'all hear this, it's probably coming out the same day. We'll get to that near the end. But first, another great game between Cyrus's favorite team and my favorite team in college basketball. Honestly, a lot of back and forth. Cyrus and I already talked about it, but very chippy, very, very chippy.
Yeah, I just like we talked about in the text, man. I just Filipowski needs to get like stronger. Like he played like that. You can't play like that and want to be a top 10 guy in the NBA. It just doesn't work out that way.
No, and is he a senior or what?
No, he's a sophomore. He's a sophomore.
Okay, so he either needs to leave Duke after this year, go to the NBA, or transfer because they're bringing in the number one recruit in Cooper Flag, and that's his role.
Yeah, I agree. There's actually a bunch of guys on that team that probably should either leave or probably make the jump because they have the printing glass is ridiculous that they got coming in.
Yeah,
So it's just
it is unreal. Apparently Armando Bacot chipped 5 teeth during that game.
Yeah, you've heard some of the war stories. I'm pretty sure it gets. I mean, between Tyler Hambro getting that hammer from Henderson, Montross getting bloodied. I don't know who. I think he ran into a wall, or they had to. Whatever happened, he was bloodied at one point in time. There was a Duke player had some sort of fracture, broke something one time during the game. So they get real chippy really quickly, really bad.
And
So
they let them play like it was backyard
Yeah.
basketball.
yeah,
It was there was a couple where I'm going, even for backyard, that's a little much where you're gonna start throwing a basketball at someone's head.
yeah.
I think the biggest one was the no call of whatever the white kid's name is for Duke, putting his arm up as Kobe Johnson's going in and just put his arm up.
Yeah.
That's an automatic, in my opinion, ejection because you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, and he wasn't trying to help. He wasn't trying to help him up. Be different if he had turned around and grabbed him and all right, I did it by accident. Maybe possibly going, but he wasn't even looking at all. He just and it was there. I was like, yeah, that's.
Yep. But they meet again in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, it's right before the ACC tournament, like a couple days for the ACC tournament. So,
All right, so they got about a month, and that's probably the last game of the season, I would assume.
yeah,
That's how they've got that figured out. Kevin, did you watch any of the game?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Very sad. I didn't watch any of it. I was working,
Ugh.
so there wasn't even a moment that I could even just step off to just even take a peek. So I'm just reliving it all through the eyes of the both of you.
That's
But
okay.
Sorry.
go Duke. I don't remember who won. Can I ask who won?
UNC won.
Yeah, UNC won.
That's okay, but
UNC put a thumping. As
Yeah.
it got near the end of the game, UNC just said, "Screw this," and just put the hammer down.
I would tell you this, so then we can move on. I would tell you this: the one kid, 55. I draw a blank at his name because I don't ever hear.
Oh
his
yeah.
name. He'll never shoot like that again ever in his life because he hadn't shot like that the whole season.
They said
because it was a big game, hype game, and that was exactly why he shot the way he shot.
They said the couple games leading up where he had been playing a lot better.
Mhm.
But he went, I think he shot hit 6 threes.
6 for 7 or 8.
Yeah, and had 5 steals. He played on his head. And the best part, the whole story about that is his sister plays volleyball at Duke.
Duke, yeah.
So she got to the game and she's wearing Duke stuff. And he saw her and he goes, you're wearing my other jersey, and gave him his Carolina blue jersey to wear.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he made her go back to the car.
yeah. He was like, no. Go back. Like, you ain't wearing that shit around me. You can wear it at Duke, but you can't wear it here. But that's pretty cool. But again, it's a great rivalry. It's always going to be fun no matter how good the teams are. And this year the teams are phenomenal. So we'll see how it goes.
One day merit on our bucket list before we God will and die, we have to go. There's a bunch of us. We all have to go.
My dad and I have told him 1,000 times. There's 2 basketball games I want to go to before I die. Both are the UNC Duke rivalry games at each location.
Yep.
I would like to be invited to that somehow.
You are 100% invited.
You are 100% invited.
I need to go to that too. That's
Yeah.
if you're a sports fan,
You
basketball fan, that is a bucket list item.
Yes.
That's just I don't care if the team is god awful. They've only won 3 games all year. If they're as bad as West Virginia is this year, you still go to that game because it's a nationally televised game no matter what. And it's just that rivalry.
Remember that one year, and I know we're supposed to not give a tangent. Remember that one year that both of them dead last in the league?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were dead last in the league. Both teams, they sucked behind the arm. They had journeyman guys like Cherokee Parks and stuff like that still around that were horrible. And it was the games were just that they went back and forth. I think the one game went 2 overtimes or something like that. It was just what the hell? It was crazy.
Yeah, I remember that. All right. Another big news for anyone that loves the game of football or soccer.
Football.
Football. The World Cup final is coming to MetLife.
I still can't believe it.
I
Well,
am.
are you going to work those games, Kev, or no?
I mean, I would like to be there as a spectator, if I have to be honest. Because I mean, that's probably going to be that crowd. I can only imagine how crazy that crowd's going to be. Whoever's going to be there. I'm just surprised we even got the final. I could have swore I heard reports that the final was going to be at the Cowboy Stadium.
So what happened was LA was supposed to host the final,
Mm.
but LA had to change up some of the things that are in the stadium to host it properly. And they basically said, F you to FIFA. We're not changing those things. We're not doing the additional stuff. So then it went between Dallas. Apparently Atlanta was in the mix and MetLife. If you look at 3 out of those 4 stadiums, 3 of them are indoors.
Yeah.
Now Atlanta can open up,
yeah.
and LA is like kind of an open concept. Like you've been there, Kevin. You know that it's an open concept.
And Dallas, you can open up as well.
Right. But MetLife is completely exposed to the elements, no matter how you cut it. Also, I think travel purposes, it's one of the easier places to get to for a lot of people, especially if you're coming from Europe. We're 95%
that's true.
Yeah,
You got LaGuardia Airport and everything.
You got three airports out. You got LaGuardia,
Newark,
Kennedy, and then Newark. So you have the 3. And Newark is actually like an international hub. Like they bring everything comes in through there. So
so is LaGuardia. So everything comes there. This place is going to be psychotically crazy. That time,
especially depending on like what teams are going to be there. Like,
that just sucks.
I mean,
They announced the U.S. is playing all their games on the West Coast to start. They play LA, they play in LA, Seattle, and then back to LA, which sucks because I would love to have them come out here. But same time, I'm still going to a few games. I've already talked to people about going to the final. It's like at this point, I'm thinking about a 20-person group to go to that final.
You heard that they also did 5. There's going to be 5 games in Philly. Am I saying that right? There's going to be 5 games in
the link.
Yeah. So there's going to be 5 games at the link too.
I think Gillette has 6 or 7 games. Right. MetLife has a bunch. There's a bunch in Canada, a bunch in Mexico, of course.
But it seems like what they did with the games, they put them in like international hubs, like international airports. Because like Philly International is like a good 10 minutes away. The surrounding hotels is like there's like 20 surrounding hotels between the 2 places. So it seems like they just kind of like, okay, we're going to put you near like international airports, so we're not having you drive like out of your way to get to the stadium or wherever you're sleeping at for the night.
Probably the biggest drive is from Logan to Foxborough, where Gillette is, which is about 25 minutes from Boston. So not the easiest commute because it's a 2-lane road with a barrier in between. So it's going to be a little bit hectic, but at the same time, who cares? It's going to be fun. Quick update for basketball for West Virginia. Basketball team still sucks for the men's side. We beat Cincinnati, which was great. And then we got our ass spanked by BYU.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the way this season has gone. But I think, it's that. I mean, honestly, we can either win every game we come up next, or we can lose every game. But I think the team I really want to definitely touch on, I do got none but love for the men, but we need to touch on our women's team that is currently 22 or 23, right?
22. They are ranked at number 22, which I think
18-2, right? Did I get that right? 18-2.
They're not a horrible team. They were on ESPN. They were on ESPN. One of the ESPN channels. They're not a horrible team.
No, and
Not by any stretch. I mean, they're not a horrible team.
this is the first year with our new head coach.
Yeah, shout
And
out
he
to
brought
him.
in a lot of transfers, right?
Yeah, I think JJ Quinterly, that
Mhm.
was one who's like the main scorer for us. Lauren Fields is another one. They've just been absolutely balling. And it's crazy because I watched the day when the ladies played Iowa State and the guys played Oklahoma State. And it's night and day of just like the difference of basketball. Like the women, it's like they know what they're doing, they're free flowing, they know what their roles are, where the men are just kind of playing basketball like at LA Fitness.
I,
It's crazy.
yeah, I honestly think that I think that the men's team will be better in the next couple of years. I think it's just a matter of right now. It's a transition phase.
Yeah.
It is a
Because every
huge
team goes through it.
transition.
It's a transition phase. Everybody's going to go through it now. It's a trend because you lost Bob, you lost Huggy, right? So once you lost Huggy, that was like okay. So now, once the guy comes in, you got to see if the coach is going to stay. If the coach is not going to stay, then your next guy that you bring in is going to have to be blank, right? So, and that's what happens. It's a transition period in between the two. That's pretty much where that's going to land you at. So you just got to survive for the next couple of years. I hope that you can scratch the tournament for at least a day or two, or at least make it. That's got to be the goal, right? And that's unfortunately that's the way it has to be. I mean, it sucks to say that, but that's unfortunately has to be the way it has to be.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we've um had to do that. So we'll figure it out. I think it's just a matter of time. I'm trying to decide if Coach Josh Eiler is gonna get another year. I don't know, depending on how they finish. It's gonna be a tough sell, but I don't know if they're gonna maybe take a look into the conditions that they started with. I'd like to give them one more year because you have no chance if you're essentially starting later than everybody else. So, but again, we'll stay tuned there. I'm just excited to see our ladies see how much they can keep this up, and maybe see if they can make a run in the Big 12. And you know, gotta support our ladies out here. Married, anything else on that one?
Uh, I just want to say that they're literally killing it. It's awesome to see. I'm pulling up something real quick. They are technically number 3 behind in the Big 12 standing behind Oklahoma and Kansas State.
Incredible.
If we win another game and say Kansas State loses, we will be in second. Looking really good. We've won 6 straight since our last loss.
Nice. It's real nice.
The biggest. Let me just see. Let's look at their schedule real quick. Who they have left? They're playing Texas Tech right now, so they are playing currently. Their next big test is Baylor. They play TC. They're at Baylor, at TCU, versus Oklahoma, at Kansas State, versus Baylor again, at TCU, and at Oklahoma State, and then at TCU. So their last couple of games, they do play 3 ranked teams, as in Oklahoma, Kansas State, and Baylor. So those should be really good tests for them, to see where they stand, especially going up against Oklahoma and Kansas State.
Is that going into the Big 12 tournament for the women, or that's just okay? So
yeah, that'll go. So those last games, next 8 games? That's the end of the season, and then they'll get into the Big 12 play.
I would tell you this, right? Their last 3 games, depending on how those other teams have already ended up, may wind up being like they'll win, but it'll be a tainted win because they won't have those teams won't be playing everybody. Or they'll get other players to play, that haven't really got the playing time. Especially women's basketball, that happens a lot because right now, I mean, not unless you're a top team, if you're walking into something, you really don't want to have injuries or things like that. So
they are also
quick correction. So JJ Quinterly, who's one of our top players, she's actually one of the holdovers from the last team. She's a junior right now. She wasn't a transfer. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. But yeah, if she's a junior right now, she's playing the way she's playing. That is incredible. But I needed to make sure I got that correction because I don't want to sound like an idiot out here.
Appreciate that, Kevin. Appreciate that. Don't want you to sound like an idiot either.
I know, but
No, never that.
even though I sound like an idiot on most of these podcasts, but we're out here.
You don't
Yeah,
sound like an idiot.
and making weird remarks about Tim Tebow and stuff. But that's besides the point, though.
Wow, he's
Really went there. Really went there.
Okay, let's not do that. Let's not go there, Cyrus.
Yeah.
Let's talk quickly. Pro Bowl. I guess that happened this past weekend. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Does anyone? I thought it was cool last year with the flag football stuff, but now I'm like, I don't really.
I will say what I thought was fun were like the different type of activities they did. Like they did a little obstacle course.
Yeah.
Like those are cool. I did watch just the highlights of the flag football. It looked cool. Gino, our guy Gino Smith, who made one of his first Pro Bowls, he threw like 3 interceptions. But hey, it's only flag football, not regular football.
At least it doesn't count for anything.
Yeah, it doesn't count anything. He's having a good time, whatever. But I can appreciate the NFL trying to like make it fun. And I think what I really enjoyed is you could see like the players having fun. I was reading on Twitter during the Pro Bowl, and it's one of the things that they appreciated with the way that they've been doing it is that they're able to see the personalities under the helmets so much more. Some things that we don't really see when they're in the game because you can't really see them because one they all have helmets on, and I thought that was a really interesting point to bring up about that. So yeah, the Pro Bowl is what it is, but
I mean, you can, it's just the tough part of it, man, is that, not that you love that part of it. It's just that you can't, it's football. I guess that's the way to put it. It's football. Like there's got to be something in there that's going to be something intriguing. I mean, if not, you can, I don't think flag football is going to entice anybody to really watch it the way they're intending it to. Like I'd rather, like Kev said, I'd rather see all the other stuff, like the accuracy contest is, the things they got when you got to jump up and make a catch, like do different things. Like the horse thing or whatever it is, the equivalent to the slam dunk contest.
The catch as many balls when they're punting and how many they can hold on to. That was a fun one to
like
watch.
That. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather watch that. Yeah.
Did you all see the I can't remember her name. I think it's Jennifer something.
Jenna Bandy, your girl,
Yeah.
Cyrus.
Yeah.
Yo, she killed it with that, bruh.
So what I found out, actually, there's a reel on YouTube where she talked to the guy who won it. I forgot his name. Forgive me. Something Miles something.
Yeah,
but
and she called him out.
Well, because she actually did it before they did the event. So she caught the 7 before the competition actually happened. So he went up to her. He's like, "Hey, I got to give you props. I heard that when I did it, they're like, oh, like, how did I do? They're like, you were great, but there was a girl that went and did this earlier and she caught 7 balls." And he's like, damn, can't believe she caught 7. But I thought that was really
Jenna is she's a really, really good athlete. Really, really good athlete. She can do a lot of great stuff.
She's like has like the Guinness World Record of like throwing the basketball into the hoop from like full court and like softball player, football player. She's good. She's a fun YouTuber to watch for anybody that's looking for YouTube stuff.
All right, let's talk now. NBA All-Star is apparently, this weekend?
No, 2 weekends.
2 weekends? I have no idea. I honestly forget when this shit happens.
NBA All-Star is always the week of President's Day weekend.
Okay. First, thoughts on the rosters. Yay, nays. I don't care about the West because it's kind of.
I have no comments other than I thought that Domantas Sabonis should be on the roster. I'm a huge Domantas Sabonis fan.
Mm-hmm.
He should have made it, but I understand why they picked who they picked. The Clippers are good this year, so they gave him 2. When you talk about the East, of course, Cyrus is gonna make fun of me because my Knicks had 2. had to, even though Julius is out. I'm very happy for Jalen Brunson. He deserved it. They just released the replacements for Embiid and Randall. It's Scotty Barnes from Toronto and Trey Young for the Hawks. I can agree with Scotty Barnes, but I would definitely say I think I could, I think it would be a toss up. I can agree with Merritt. I think it would be great if maybe a guy like Derek White or maybe Porzingis can go ahead and replace Trey Young. But, the NBA is the NBA. They want some stars in there, and Trey Young has star power. But that's what I got. Even though I know they talked about Derek White, the Celtics, they're the top team in the East right now. So deservingly so, you give that extra all-star to the team that is performing well. But yeah, that's my comments on that.
Yeah, I don't have much to say on that. I mean, honestly, you probably could have went 20 deep this year on both sides with the number of players that probably should have made it. So you knew somebody was going to get stiff this year. Don't I mean honestly, I don't think it was smart to have Scotty Barnes and Trey Young in there only because that team was going to be small no matter what. And there was other players like you said, Porzingis. There's probably like two or three other guys that probably. I mean, actually, the Orlando Magic has like three or four guys that have been playing really well this year. If you were going to give somebody a shot, like Von Wagner, not Von Wagner, whatever the guy's name is.
Mo Wagner.
Mo Wagner, he's been playing pretty well. I mean, there's a couple of guys on that Orlando team that really deserve a shot at being an all-star. I get it. They're not the household name, but they've been playing pretty well. The West is the West. I mean, they're saturated with talent. You're just never going to get an actual, straight, honest to God, 12, 15 players that really deserve to be on there because you have more than 15.
Yeah, there's too much talent in the West. Like, even though, for example, I could have done without Anthony Davis being on the team this year. That easily could have went to somebody like my guy DeMontis.
Right.
You could have made a good case for, I know Merritt hates this player, Rudy Gobert instead of Carl Anthony Towns. You could have made a case because he's, your top defender. And it's just it's always a crapshoot. You never know what it's going to be like, especially for the West. But I think for the most part, 95% of the rosters, it made sense. Like, you knew you had to take Jaylen Brown for the East. Guys like Brunson, if Brunson didn't make it, that'd be a travesty. He should have made it. Donovan Mitchell is, perennial all-star. And yeah, I mean,
but again, to your point, Kev, look at the teams, right? And I'm pretty sure Mary's going to jump in and say the same thing. If you look at the teams and you look at how they're playing on the teams, they deserve it. Even if they're in the middle, even if they're a middle of the pack team, they deserve it.
Yeah.
And even like the guys on TNT were talking about it. What do you do? I mean, some of those guys they probably should have made it, but the team is underachieving. So you reward it. Yeah, so that's where Sabonis and Fox come in. They're underachieving. They should be playing better, but they're underachieving.
Yeah.
Now
they were in top 3 like they were last year.
Right.
Merritt, any other thoughts?
I think that
don't care.
Trey Young should not be in an all-star game. His team's garbage. He's garbage. I also just don't like Trey Young. I never have liked him. Even since his days in Oklahoma. Boy needs to cut his hair and be bald because he looks like a 60-year-old human being with his hair flopping in the wind.
Yeah. If he wasn't averaging the 10 assists per game and the 27, he wouldn't be in. I think the fact that he has the double-double average is what got him in.
I just don't I don't understand the picking of Scotty Barnes either, mainly for the simple fact, like what Cyrus just said. There's better players on better teams. Scotty Barnes is the best player on a crap team. Trey Young is the best player on a crap team. Why do we give it to them? Yes, Derek White's not a household name, but he's playing at an all-star level this year where he's stepped it up and is one of the best players, if not some nights the best player on the Boston Celtics. And that's not me being a homer at all. It's just looking at the facts. So I think there's a few things that the NBA needs to look at is if we're going to do this right, have representation from one player from each team. Make it easy.
They tried that.
They should do it again.
No,
did.
honestly, they
They-
should totally do that, but I think it's just going to be extremely hard.
I
Yeah.
won't lie though either. I don't think Damian Lillard's an all-star this year. I'm going to say that for the one reason that he has not melded well in that team yet. Granted, they're the second best team in the East, but he does not look the same. I've watched a couple of their games. It just does not.
He doesn't look comfortable at all.
No, and Doc Rivers getting the all-star head coaching job.
That's hilarious.
That is pathetic.
That's
because they can't give it to Mazzulla because he did it last year. That's right.
Yeah,
yeah,
because they go back because then they were to stop because remember all those years we had like Phil Jackson, who else with Pat Riley, all those years where they had the top three coaches were always there, and within a 15-year span they were just like we can't keep doing this, so we gotta mix it up and let somebody else get a chance.
I will say one person because I'm looking at like a list of like all-star snubs. And to Cyrus's point, by looking visually at the rosters, the East is incredibly small.
Yep.
Like you should have replaced instead of having Trae Young, maybe put someone like a Miles Turner, who is good, or even someone like that's on a good team like a Jared Allen, because just to give you guys some size. Because I'm looking at
Miles Turner would have been a perfect guy to replace Embiid, right? Because Miles Turner has been putting up numbers on a winning team. So that is a guy that you would say valued, and he's on a winning team.
I agree.
Top four team in the East. Put him up there. That's what they should have done. But
all right, let's move on because we can talk about snubs and our thoughts on the all-star stuff all day long. How about this court they're doing, an LED court? As Andrew put it the other day, it could be really cool or it could be horrible. I'm on the fact that it is going to be horrible because you take away the parquet. You take away the back of a wooden floor. So
I think it's the NBA trying to make something. And I don't know if they thought about the execution of it. Think about like the courts we had during some of the in-season tournament. I don't know if they're thinking properly of what the execution is going to be like in real time. I hope I'm wrong, but just from what I saw in like the preview,
yeah, I'll be honest with you. It's just another thing like we were talking about before when I was on the last time with Ronald. I mean, you can only grab so much. You really just have to let the product speak for itself. So as much as I would love to have the LED court, I don't think this was the time for it. If you're going to do an LED court, do it like an exhibition game or,
don't do it at all.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. I'm agreeing with you. But if you're going to do it, I would tell you, listen, the Summer League comes up. You have the Summer League where it's in Vegas. And, if you want to hype up the championship game of that Vegas Summer League, there's your chance to do the LED court.
Yeah.
There it is. There's your chance.
We'll see. Speaking of things about All-Star, I think I'm actually more excited for this next thing on the list that you have, Merritt, if you want to tell the people about it.
Curry versus Sabrina in a three-point contest. It is a men's range three-point shooting contest, according to Sabrina. I am excited. I think she can win.
I think she has a legitimate chance.
Especially this year. Steph has been average.
He's gassed.
Yeah.
He's gassed.
He's Father Time, has no losses.
Undefeated.
Yep.
He's gassed.
It'll be cool to watch. for sure.
It'd be good watch. I mean, let's put it this way. The only reason he would win is because just simply off of muscle memory and being shooting is from that distance on a consistent basis, where she hasn't.
Right.
And that would be the only reason. But other than that, everything else would be virtually the same. He's like to this point, he's just his body's gas. But if he had a couple of money balls or something like that, just because he shot from this distance consistently, that'd probably be it. It'd be close.
We shall see. I'm excited for that one.
Then dunk contest. Jaylen Brown's in it. Matt McClung's in it. I don't remember who else is in it.
Let's see who else is in it.
That's probably going to be.
All right. So, let's see. So it says, is he officially suiting up, or is this just like a tease?
No, he's officially suiting up.
No.
Actually, you know what? This one may be really good. I mean, because you got some guys that nobody's really heard of, but
yeah, we
really
got
good players, and they're really creative.
We got McClung, Jaylen Brown, Jamie Vasquez down in Miami, and then Jacob Toppin. Is that Obi Toppin's brother?
Yeah.
Great.
Is that his brother?
Yeah.
And Jamie Jaquez, I remember him from UCLA with his hair.
Yep, still got the hair. I won't lie. I don't know anyone besides McClung and Jaylen. So,
well, Jamie he had a couple in college. He had a couple like rim rocket dunks that you can. But he's probably another one of those guys because he's a throw-in because
no one else wanted to do it.
Yeah, and they needed a guy. No offense, but they needed a guy.
Well, hopefully he brings a little bit of a show. Mac McClung, when he was on the Sixers for like 3 days, put on a show. And that's all you hope with this slam dunk contest. You want to be excited to watch them. It's just a shame that none of our stars want to do it. But that's a story for another day.
Yep, it is, per usual. And then what we got here. So I wanted to just ask this question. This can be a quick answer for everybody. What are our thoughts on, to get your award in the NBA now is you have to play a minimum of 65 games. We just saw what happened to Embiid. He tore his meniscus. He's out a minimum of 4 weeks. Is it worth the 65 game threshold that they have to meet? Or is it something that they should just revert back to what it was previously, that, hey, as long as you are hitting so many games, it's great, but you don't have to be, we're not holding everyone to that same standard.
Cyrus.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not happy with it. I understand the reason why, but I'm not happy with it. So my answer would be no. I really think they should go back or figure out another way out.
I mean, well, what's the history of like the people that have won the award in the past? Like, I don't know what the stat is of like how many games a person has to play.
It's not the stat. What the problem really quickly, and I'll say this so we can just get it out there. The problem is this. It's the reason that they're doing the 65 games is to make sure that you get them to play without sitting the games when they go into like back-to-backs on national TV and stuff. That's what they're trying to do. The problem is that you run into what Draymond said the other day, and some of these other guys are saying, you're getting guys going after playing, even though you should be, but you're playing hurt, like severely hurt, and you're getting hurt worse. Like to Embiid's case, he got hurt worse from what he was. Now he's out. So now that team's playoff chances are virtually gone for the most part. That's where the problem lies at. But that's the reason why they did it.
Well, I understand that, but I would say, what for awards purposes, do we think that 65 games too many games? They have 82 games in a season.
It's just
82 games in a season.
yeah, it's just a
So
bad.
you're
It's just
telling me a guy can play 40 games. Let's say somebody averages a triple double. He plays 40 games, and you're going to award him MVP against somebody that maybe slightly under that, but has played, 70, 75.
Yeah, but the law of averages catches up with you because if you play 40 games, the guy that's playing 50 or 60 games is overwhelmingly better than you stat wise. Period. Either way.
Well, yeah, exactly. So like I do. So then, what I'm asking is this amount of games too many games to qualify, or
It there.
just
He said,
Again, I don't like the rule because the rule is made to fix the guys like the Ben Simmons is the world, the Kyrie Irving's of the world, but you can't fix that when you have other players that are really you can't fix it. I'm just saying there's no way to fix that the way you want it. The answer is no, either way, right? It's just no. But there's got to be a happy medium. They really just got to bring it back to the table and redo it all over again.
yeah, I agree with Cyrus on this one, just mainly for the simple fact that you have somebody like Joel Embiid who really is the face of the NBA at this point in his career, and he goes back out there injured before he's healthy because he can't sit more than 2 games in a row. He was a healthy scratch one game, and then come to find out he had a knee issue, scratch again, and then he had to play again because of these new rules. So I
wait,
get
is that in the rule that they can't sit out more than
if
2 games?
for like a healthy type scratch, yeah, it's they don't want their premier players sitting. They have to play. So that's why like you have to be kind of strategic on when those guys are sitting. And I could be wrong a little bit on the wording of it, but it's basically how it's made it come out to be is we want our star players playing every single game. Now, we grew up in an era where that happened. Everyone played every game unless they basically were dead. So I kind of agree 65 games is a decent amount of games you have to play. In my opinion, if you have to play to get to that voting level to have that MVP conversation or DOP, rookie of the year, whatever it is, I say 50 games. 50 games is pretty doable for a lot of individuals. That would also save Embiid because then he's not missing all the games that he's going to miss. He'd still have an opportunity to showcase what he can do. So maybe there's a medium that or some type of balance in between. I know we are pressed on time. I want to jump to the football. So the Super Bowl is coming up. Guys, I want to bring it back to something here. Now, Cyrus, I know you were not on the original breakdown of our thoughts on the Super Bowl this past year. Kevin, would you like me to reiterate who you thought would be in the Super Bowl this year?
Sure.
You said 49ers and the Jets.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
You got 1 out of 2. Good job. With a prediction that the 49ers would win. Andrew predicted the Bills and 49ers and the Bills winning. I predicted the 49ers and Bengals with the Bengals winning. So far, 3 of us got 1 team right. 49ers. So we're good there. Now, my question is for the 3 of us, since it is different. We can change our picks from earlier, Kevin, because there's 2 different teams in there now. Well, a different team. There's the Chiefs and the 49ers.
Right.
But I want to hear, Kevin, who do you think come Sunday night at like midnight our time is lifting that Lombardi trophy?
I am going to go with the 49ers.
All right.
49ers, 1, to support my guy, Cyrus Johnson Jr. 2, I really want someone like a Christian McCaffrey to be able to get a ring. I think this 49ers team deserves it. I really enjoy watching this 49ers team. I will say that. Not just saying that because Cyrus is here, but
And
I think
here's my son. Who do you want to win?
Chiefs.
Damn.
Nice.
Damn.
I love it.
But but to go back, I do want the 49ers to win, but, give it up to the Chiefs if they do end up beating Cyrus's 49ers. Like, Patrick Mahomes has set himself to be Hall of Fame QB out here. But I'm going 49ers also because I just want somebody different.
All right. So I'm going to assume, Cyrus, you want the 49ers, right? Or, sorry, the Chiefs?
No, see, my son wants the Chiefs to win. My whole family is Swifties, and they want the Chiefs to win because of that.
I won't.
Yeah, I know.
I honestly, in my opinion, it does not matter who wins this game. At the end of the day, 49ers or Chiefs, it's going to be a great game. I do want to see the Chiefs win it, only for the simple fact that I think if they win, you'll see a lot of guys on the Chiefs retire. I think you see Andy Reid take a step away. I think you see Travis Kelce, now that where he's in his life, steps away.
You think he's gonna retire?
I don't think he retires.
I think he would. He's 34 years old, going to be 35 start next football season. He plays one of the toughest positions in the tight end, and he is a target across the middle of the field to get destroyed every play. Plus, you don't have to do much right now at this point in his career. Bro is basically married to Taylor Swift.
He's not married. Not married.
Basically is. According to Tony Romo, he's married. But like,
you believe Tony Romo? Oh,
hell no. I don't believe anything that comes out of the damn guy's mouth. I also want to see another franchise be hated as much as the Patriots were with their drive and how much they did. Now, the Chiefs will never reach that pinnacle of like winning 6 championships in a 20-year period because that's just unheard of. But I do think if the Chiefs win, you will see a lot of changes. So at the end of the day, I just want a good football game, but I would like the Chiefs to just skirt out a little bit. Close game.
I would say I know the 49ers. I want the 49ers to win. I think it's going to be a close game. To your point, Mary, and I'll say this. I think Kelce would stay. I think they would get a new coaching regime. But I think, to your point, I think majority of that team would either be released or retire. They would have to start anew with the new nucleus of players. So to your point, I don't think they would win. They wouldn't go back for at least another couple of years till they had like the right set of team, the right team again.
Awesome.
I'll be honest with you, 49ers right there too. If they were to win this one and say they were to rattle off and maybe come back and go to another Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, that team is probably going to be dismantled within the next 3 to 4 years because they wouldn't be able to keep everybody, even with the coaching staff. As you can tell, like D'Amico Ryans went to Houston, and to Shanahan's coaching tree. So
true. All right, Kevin, that's all I had.
You don't want to do a final score prediction?
We can do a quick score prediction. Kevin, what is your score prediction for this Super Bowl?
I mean, if we don't want to, we don't have to, because
No.
I have another question in mind.
Okay, what's your other question? Let's do that.
All right. Well, it's probably the most important question. I think I should have it for the filibuxers. But what Usher song are we expecting that we want to hear at this halftime performance? The most important question.
I have to. I
have. You don't have to call. That's me.
I would love personally if he actually brought up the 2 guys for this song and did the full song. Is Yeah with Little John and Luda. I would love for the.
That's guaranteed.
I was thinking the same thing.
That is so guaranteed.
I want that. Just because
it's so guaranteed gonna happen.
I want Little John to run out on the stadium stage and go, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. I already feel like that's gonna happen. That's why I didn't even say that song, because that's gonna happen.
Well, the best part is, so I'm going to the Pennsylvania this weekend to see a couple of my friends, and my friend Jeff's wife Victoria goes, I didn't know Usher was playing in the Super Bowl. She's like sending us shit. She's so excited for it. Like, he's been announced for like 6 months. Where have you been? So
And he has a residency in Vegas. Like he has a residency in Vegas, so he's not like
Yeah, and
it's
it
not like
sells
he was.
out like
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, it's not like he was going anywhere. I mean, he was already in Vegas, so I mean, seemed like the perfect time. We just put him right in there.
And he's supposed to be going on tour in the fall. So
Yep.
that's a concert that I'm gonna have to make it to.
all right. Well, Kevin, I liked it.
Cool. All right. So is that it?
That's it. That's all we
That's
got.
it.
All right.
We
Well,
went-
I have one last thing because I've been ending every episode with this instead of doing it in the middle of the outro. I'll have it for us now. So, question of the day. What is your favorite Disney soundtrack song?
Life is a highway.
Life is a Highway?
Life is a highway.
I didn't even know what like.
That's from Cars. Life
Oh,
is a
okay,
highway.
all right. I give that to you. Nice.
God.
I mean, mine is A Whole New World from Aladdin, and then as an honorable mention, the first High School Musical soundtrack because it brings me back to my high school days.
I got to go with a classic from our childhood. You Got a Friend in Me,
Ooh,
or a whole new world.
yes, that's a good choice.
I like those two.
Good choice, Merritt.
I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember the names of these songs. So I had to literally just quickly look them up and be like, oh yeah, I remember these now. Okay, we're good.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, so that we're on schedule, we got to make sure Merritt has to do his dad duty. So we're going to go ahead and outro it out. Number one, Cyrus, shout out to you. Thank you for coming on, coming in clutch. You know, we're going to have to get Cyrus on here more out here as he's almost predominantly like our third host out here. So shout out to you, Cyrus. Do you want to share your social so everybody can follow you?
So I'm at CK Johnson Jr. on Instagram, and I believe I'm at CK Johnson on Twitter too.
I love it. Beautiful. So, first things first, if you're watching this on the YouTube, continue to watch us on the YouTube. We need some more views. Like, comment. You can follow it at The Manly Musings Podcast. Feel free to listen to us on all of your on all streaming platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, Google Play, and Amazon Play. Make sure you follow the Instagram at The Manly Musings Pod. You can follow Merritt and my personal Instagram at Merritt_P, mine at KQuava624. Also, you can follow the Filipino Starbucksters, aka your Filibucksters, on that same Instagram. And make sure you please follow the TikTok at The Manly Musings Pod. It's getting your Filibucksters content, you're getting your episode recap content, you're getting footage from the We Out Here's. I'm hoping people are enjoying them for those that are seeing them. Merritt, how am I doing on them? Do I need to do better on them?
I think you're doing phenomenal, Kevin. You do a great job every time.
I appreciate the support. I really work my heart and soul on those. But other than that, we'll see you guys soon. Peace out. Enjoy your week, y'all. Enjoy your Super Bowl too.
Peace.